Hello and welcome to the Ditty for another piece of shitty. I am Zara.
And I am Ian. And yes, another piece of shitty it is. If you want shitty,
Yes,
you've come to the right place.
we got all the
Indeed.
shits.
We have got all the shits. And
All the shit.
before we
Yeah, go on.
start something, I would like to just a little bit of an amendment from our last podcast. There were a couple of things that I spoke about which I was a little bit out on. So I just want to put that right, just in case anybody out there that has gone, oi, fucker, that ain't right. So I mentioned the Human League, which was a great song, by
Mm-hmm.
the way. Did you like that one? Did you like that?
No.
Okay. I didn't think you would, but I love it, and that's all it counts. I said that they went from being what I considered to be the better version of themselves to having the girls join in about
Mm,
1984. It actually wasn't. It was 1981. So I just want to clear that up because my timeline was a little bit out there. So, and also I mentioned when
mm-hmm.
speaking about the little Weem thing that I bought
Yeah.
that it wasn't very good for playing heavier music. Now, that's slightly misleading. What I should have said was the setup that I use is
Mm.
not a setup for heavier music. The setup I
Got
use
yeah.
is more set for playing, I'm going to say, finer sounding music
More
with
intricate.
more intricacies. Yes, the Weem thing itself will play anything that you put through it. It's what you're playing it into is what's gonna. There you go. So I just thought I'd get that out of the way. And if Weem are
Okay.
listening, you're welcome. Send me a better one. I know you
Yes,
do them.
and
I know you do
if you
them.
want and if you want to know what we're talking about with the Weem, you can listen to the last episode. And if you look in the show notes, there is a link to that specific model, I believe. And if you happen to buy anything like that, we'll get a few pence, which we'll be grateful for. Thank you very much.
Pennies. Give me the
Mm.
pennies.
It's literally like I think 0.005 pence or something. However, they've put the affiliate links in because when we're talking about, equipment and stuff, sometimes it's handy. People wanna, like, click through and, "What the fuck are they on about?" And they can see it straight away. I also put a link through to, the DAC that I use, which is, cheap as chips really and works wonderfully well. And, if there's any more gear that comes up in this episode, I'll do the same. So I'm gonna try and make sure that if we're talking about it, you can get to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So onwards and
Yes.
upwards.
Yes. On we go.
So what
Last
shit
episode.
are we chatting today? What shit are we chatting today?
Yeah. So, have you been listening to the beef in the rap world?
I can't say as I have. I'm not
Okay.
big in the rap world, to be honest.
No, well, I do listen to a varied amount of music, and I'm also quite plugged into just the that kind of stuff in general. And over the last week and a half, there has been some beefing, some arguments, some bits and pieces thrown back and forth. And I love this because it means that some great writers will release fast music because they want to get it out there, right? That's what happens. This is what happened with Wiley and Stormzy a couple of years ago, and Stormzy released something real fast, and he was just literally drinking a cup of tea, calling this person a waste man, and so it was brilliant. And anyway, that's happened with Drake and K Dot, so that's Kendrick Lamar is K Dot.
I'm
If
glad
you
you put
haven't,
that out there.
yes, you're you're welcome. Basically, Drake was in a rap with J. Cole, and he said on there, the big three, he meant him, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar took offense to this, and in one of his tracks, he went, "It's not big three, it's just big me," and then proceeded to release, I think, two or three tracks that tore Drake a new arsehole. Now, Kendrick
So who
Lamar
would
is
who would who would be considered to be the bigger of the artists? Because I know very little about any of them.
Okay, so in terms of stats, Drake makes an extortion amount through Spotify. He's usually the lead artist in any given day. Although there's always different charts and somebody will be the first of it, it is mostly standard for him to get the most amount of streams. It's just what it is. Kendrick Lamar, Pulitzer Prize winning writing,
Okay,
right? So that's something that is, I think, testament to his pen skill, right?
okay.
He also did, I mean, you probably heard the track "Humble," and if you've watched fucking the Black Panther. It was heavily involved with all of the music on that, and that soundtrack is incredible by itself. Anyway, Kendrick Lamar, he released 2 songs, 3 songs maybe, Toy Me New Arsehole, and magically with the last one that he released, he knocked Drake off the top spot and he got something in the region of just under 11 million streams in that just one day, which is
Okay.
actually huge. There's also a timeline for it. People have put together playlists that have the original track that Drake did that was like, it's the big 3, and then all of the preceding things, and other people have chimed in as well. The Weeknd was in there somewhere, J. Cole was in there somewhere, Metro released a very nice, a beat, and it literally just says, "BBL drizzle," like that. That's it.
Okay.
Because
All right.
Kendrick Lamar said, "Not only have you had your abs done, but you've also had a BBL." So that's like, the Brazilian bum lifts basically is what he's saying. So yeah, that was
Hang on.
interesting
Hang on a
this
minute.
week.
Can I just go back
Mhm.
a couple of words there?
Mhm.
Brazilian bum lift.
Okay, so yes, Drake has been accused, this is not me accusing Drake, by the way. I'd like to point that out. This is just what other people in the universe have said. Drake has had a BBL, which means he had some shaping and shifting to get a fat back, a nice junk in the trunk, as it were. And he's also been accused of having his abs shaped and so on. Anyway, as a bunch of other stuff as well.
Okay.
However, that brings me all the way back to the point that I was gonna make is, if you don't care about rap beef, which a lot of people don't, and that's absolutely cool, "Not Like Us" by Kendrick Lamar is brilliant, and he's very well known for any almost any given sentence in what he's written has about 7 meanings, and I think, and we've spoken about, like, Eminem before, and I'm not comparing the 2, so, but we've spoken about Eminem before being able to write a sentence, and his sentence has about 2 or 3 meanings. Kendrick Lamar somehow manages to write stuff that you could dissect for days. So yeah, that's one of the things that's going on in the universe right now. It's very interesting. Hopefully it's
Okay.
done now because, got blessed with a
Well,
couple of
it's
new songs.
well, in fairness, it's making them both a shitload of money, isn't it?
The interesting
So
thing is, yeah, and Kendrick's one in particular is making also content creators a lot of money because he released the rights on it, which means they're allowed to use large portions of the track to give reaction videos, to talk about it, to dissect the lyrics, and all of this stuff. And content creators who are doing that are saying they've never had an artist or a song which has enabled them to do that. So even though this song is like an attack on another person, and that's fine, whatever, it's actually making a hell of a lot of money elsewhere too. So I think that's why it's become so popular because a lot of people are like, "Holy shit!"
do you
But
think
yeah,
do you think if we launched a personal attack on either one of them, they would write a song about us and it would make us extortionate amounts of money?
to be honest, if Kendrick Lamar ever wrote anything about me to the extent, I would actually just cry and then walk into a river.
Hmm. But
Like I'm not.
would you be rich while you were doing it?
No, because the extent of his pen powers is larger than the extent of my ability to cope with the pen powers. Like, I'm not doing it. And if you go and have a listen, and we'll maybe come back to this like on the next one, go and have a listen to a couple of the tracks that just these ones. I mean, he's a good writer anyway, and some of his albums are brilliant. But yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So there you go.
Else, yeah, there you go. It's worth keeping up with these things because musical trends and whatnot. And I've been quite current the last couple of podcasts. Modern music.
I think if you were to have a chart
Yep.
from the beginning of music running all the way up to now and got a ruler and drew a line each side of the ruler through the middle of it at a certain point, that's where I would be. I'm stuck in that sort of midsection
So
of musical history.
I was reading something about this a couple of weeks ago, and it says that we kind of stick to a specific genre slash era that we were having not the best time of our lives, but potentially the most comfortable, mentally
I'll
comfortable.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
But having said that, there are
Mm,
artists now that are producing the kind of music that I would have listened to then.
mm,
So you're getting new variations of an old theme.
yeah.
And I do listen to these, and I've spoken before about the Kills. They are releasing music that works for me because it sounds like the music back in like the 70s or the 80s kind of style.
Yeah.
So as much as I understand that there are bands that are out there now, new bands releasing new music that sounds like the old music, which I think is a clever way of drawing an older audience in,
Oh,
as
yeah.
well as the new audience. That they're drawing an audience from fucking all the generations. So if it's been done purposely, then kudos to you.
Mm. It's nice when it happens. Sometimes it's
It
done
is nice.
badly, though.
Sometimes it's done really fucking badly. Really is. Sometimes, yeah. But yeah, when they get it right, they get it right. But having said that, when you listen to some of the older music, the shit that I listen to, it's still listenable to, today's audience. People are still going to listen to it and go, shit, yeah. So kind of works both ways, I suppose.
Hmm. It does. Okay, then. Right. I'm coming with the album for the track that I was speaking about, the last one. Now, I was very current and I was talking about Kings of Leon's new release, and that has actually been released today, which is the 10th of May as we are recording. When you hear this, it will be a different day, but that's no problem of mine. Can We Please Have Fun is the name of the album. I mentioned this last time. They released three tracks from it, Split Screen Mustang and Nothing to Do, I think it was. It is a 12-track album. It's about 45 minutes long. As far as I'm aware, it is also on vinyl. Now, I read that they've released it in a greeny color and people aren't loving it. So
See,
they're opting for the black one.
we were talking about this the other day, and I mentioned that having bought that translucent green album, which I thought was really special at the time, and now everybody seems to be releasing their new vinyl on these multicolored discs and whatnot, and it sort of
Mhm.
just takes the luster off it, just makes it a little bit less. I wouldn't say important, but it just takes that little glint off it. When you buy something, you go, "Fuck yeah, this is great," because it's not only it's the new album, but it's an odd color, or it's see through. Or I remember I had a collection, and you have the collection now
Mhm.
of Ultravox
Yeah.
back in the 80s, and they released a lot of their stuff on clear vinyl as like a limited edition thing. And I had virtually all of them, 12-inch singles, I believe it was just at the time, and a couple of 7-inch singles, but mainly 12-inch singles that they released on clear vinyl. And nobody else was really doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I had them, and I've lost a few over the years. People have loaned them out, they borrowed them from me, and they've never come back. So that was a little bit of
Yes.
a pisser. But it just seems as though everybody is doing that kind of thing now, and it just takes that shine off it a little, for me anyway.
There's so with this one, it's olive green, and I think it's a store exclusive. I think you can only get it in the UK, maybe. I'm not sure, or it's a store that's in the UK. Anyway, and the olive green is an interesting choice because the blue shade that they've used, I don't even know how I would describe it for the cover, but it's like an old blue. It's like I don't know how to describe it, but if you see it, so the green vinyl kind of makes sense, but from what I'm seeing, most people are opting for the black because they don't love the olive. Olive is an interesting choice because I've seen clear green, I've seen deep green, I've seen green splatters, I've seen neon. I don't really think I've seen this one, which makes it
Right,
interesting
okay.
to me.
Which is
'Cause I
possibly why they've used it.
yeah, it could be. It's an interesting color. Anyway, onto the song. There's a couple of songs on the album that are quite nice. Ballerina Radio, that's the opener. Actual Daydream, also decent. And Scene reminds me of one of their old songs, but well, I can't think of it right now. But my actual favorite on this album is Mustang, and I can't remember if we played that last time or not. But that would be my recommended track for this. It's
Are you going to buy
Mustang.
it? Because you said last time you were probably going to buy it.
Do you know what? I've had after giving it a listen today, I I think I'm gonna add it to my list, and I think I mentioned this to you the other day. I also want a couple of the Amy Winehouse ones, so I don't know in
Yes, you
what
did.
order I'm gonna get them in. I think this has preference because I know I'll listen to this. I have to be in a very specific mood to listen to Amy Winehouse. Barbara I can listen to Kings of Leon all day, every day. It doesn't bother me. So I've got a nice back catalogue, and I enjoy like the change of styles through the years, which this one actually feels more like their middle set of releases. So yeah, Kings of Leon Peoples, if you enjoy that, that's out today. I will link the entire album actually in the show notes, but I might have to do the album on Spotify, but the individual track will be a link that you can listen to it anywhere. But yeah, that's my opener today, and I love it.
Sound. Did you
Yeah.
manage to listen if you remember when you were mentioning the Amy Winehouse album,
Mm-hmm.
I sent you a couple of recommendations over as not alternatives, but to have a listen
Paloma
to as well.
Faith.
Paloma Faith being one of them. Did you manage to have a listen?
I did have a what did I listen to now? I know it's on here because usually I'll try to save the tracks that I listen to so we can come back to it. I can't remember what was this because you recommended a specific album, didn't you? Oh
Yeah.
my God, what
Um,
was it?
Do you want the
Um,
truth or something beautiful was the
that's
album.
that's what you recommended, yeah. I think I listened
Good
to a
album.
couple of tracks, yeah.
Yeah, very good. And if people haven't had a listen to that before, it's well worth a go. There
Mm,
was a couple of others as well, but I don't recall off the top of my head. So yeah, it's all good. Right, so that was your first one.
yeah.
So I'm going to jump in with this. We spoke about the other week,
Mhm.
having had another listen quite recently, and went to you. Have you listened to the lyrics of this? And yeah, The Doors, "Riders on the Storm,"
Mhm.
taken from the LA Woman album of 1971. Now, the interesting thing, and I would imagine, as I say this, is going to be person out there listening, I should say,
Yeah, hello.
who will probably, hello, yes, it's lovely to have you, will probably go, I knew that all the time. Well, I fucking didn't. So, and it,
Yeah.
and it just kind of, sometimes you listen to something hundreds and hundreds of times, and then one of the times you listen, you'll hear something and you'll go, oh, hang on a minute. I don't, that's just sort of appeared out of the ether. And what I'm on about is when you listen to the lyrics, as Jim Morrison is singing them, there is somebody whispering them underneath,
Mhm. Yep.
and you can only just make it out. And I think it was towards the end of the song where as the Jim Morrison lyrics were fading out, you heard the whispered lyrics coming through a little bit stronger. And I just kind of backtracked it, and it's all the way through. It's all of the lyrics. So as he's singing them, somebody's whispering them underneath, and it's fucking brilliant. It changes the whole song for me. It does anyway. And I've been sitting listening to it because I had it on headphones, where you
Mhm.
can pick it out quite well, and I played it through my speakers. And the way I've got them positioned now, I've set all the speakers properly because one before was slightly higher than the other, and it was throwing the balance and the sound staging out a little bit. So you weren't picking it up as well as you probably could have done. So I've leveled the speakers down. I've got them all kind of sitting where they should be, and I put it on again, and I was like, "Oh God, there it is!" And you can hear it just running along underneath. Absolutely fantastic. What a fantastic piece of writing.
Yeah,
Whoever
smart.
whoever went whoever went, "Do you know what? Let's try this." Brilliant, brilliant. But I said to you at the time, there was a song by Japan called Despair, where it's only a very short vocal section. It's mainly music, but he sings it in French, and it's a great song as it stands. But I'd kind of always thought it would have sounded better, in my opinion, if somebody was speaking the lyrics in English alongside him singing them in French
Yeah, that makes sense.
in a similar kind of a way. And yeah, like I said to you, I'm a fucking visionary. I'm a
Visionary.
visionary.
That's the one.
Visionary.
To be honest, when you first sent it to me, I think I already mentioned this. I pressed play and it was just on my phone, and I was like, I can't hear what the fuck he's talking about. So I've come upstairs, I've plugged my headphones in, and it took me a second or so, and then I was like, oh, there it is.
There
And
it is, yeah.
for some reason, the tempo. would you call it the tempo of the speaking reminds me of Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
I
Do you
don't
know
know
what?
why.
Well, he was around then, so it may well have been. I don't
It
think
just
it's one of those things you'll ever find out. I don't know. It might be documented somewhere as to who he was, but it might be Jim Morrison himself,
I
double
think it
tracking.
is. I think it is, but something about the tempo and the kind of the deepness of the voice,
Yeah,
it reminded me of Leonard Cohen, and I thought, okay,
yeah,
fair
very good. He
enough.
has got a
Yeah,
deep
but
voice,
it
and
was super
old Leonard.
interesting. He does,
Yeah,
he does. Fucking hell.
yeah, yeah. It was kind of, I wouldn't say a revelation when I first heard it, but it changed. Like I say, it changed the whole dynamic of the song for me. And
Yeah.
now listening to it, knowing it's there, and you hear it, it's one of these things that sort of stands out on the song now, as well as how clean the song is, the
Mhm.
production on the song, how clean it is with the pianos and all like the rolling thunder and all of that, and the rain sounds and that. I do love the I do well. Do you know what? I used to listen to them quite a lot, but it
Yeah.
was only a small amount of tracks because when I was playing bass, they were easy to practice along
Mm.
because it was quite a simple bass line that they would put in, so it was easy to practice your syncopation alongside what they were doing. So there was a few tracks I listened to. So I thought, well, based on that, I'm going to buy one of the. So I bought the Greatest Hits album. Oh, it was the biggest lump of fucking shit I've ever
Oh,
heard.
man, I hate that. I hate that so much. I'm
Oh,
very oh god, I'm sorry about that for you.
do you know what? I couldn't believe it. I nearly fucking wept
I actually
because
would.
I had so high a hope for
Can't
this
talk.
album.
Yeah.
That's how upset I was. Yeah,
That's how fucked off
um,
you were.
I was fucked off, and it just turns out that the few songs that I used to listen to regularly were the only decent songs that I think they ever fucking did. Now I know there's going to be a lot of Doors fans out there going, "You fucking heathen piece of shit."
Yeah, there will be.
There will be, but to me, oh god, it was just like, what were you doing?
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah. Riders on the Storm from the LA Woman album 1971, The Doors. Listen for the underlying whisper. Thank you.
Um, I'm just gonna go ahead and put your headphones on and close your eyes because, if your headphones are tat, you're gonna need a second or 2 to find it.
Yes.
It's not hidden, which is spectacular actually. It's not hidden. It's not massively covered, but if you're not concentrating, you fucking miss it. Because I thought you were comparing it to another song, and I was like, "Oh, it sounds like ba 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 ba."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, wait a second."
Yeah. There
But
it is.
a
There it goes.
af yeah, after we listened to that, I think we had a quick conversation about how so these artists that produce these things that there's a bunch of them. We said David Bowie and a couple of others.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could not have known for sure that we would have the technology we have now to listen, yet they still produced music and put things together in a way that is fully complemented by the technology that we have today.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, it kind of blows my mind a little bit that 40, 50 years ago, wherever, even less, they're sitting there and they're like, "Okay, I want to layer this up so that it will spin round your head." And sort of, well, how's it gonna spin around your head? Well, it'll go around the speakers, right? And now someone picks it up with headphones and listens to it, and it literally spinning around their head. And the one that you always talk about, the Jean Michel Jarre as well.
Yes.
How did they? How
I know.
how are they so
It's
future thinking, so visionary? But using your word there, visionary to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a listener 35 years from this point now an experience that uh, other people can't even duplicate. Well, hmm?
time travel. That's how.
How? I
Time
can't.
travel.
I can't explain it, but I do appreciate it.
Time travel.
Yes, it's kind of it blows my fucking mind. And we said this about Gary Newman a couple of like long time ago. Some of his stuff as well is definitely built for future listeners.
Now I'm saddened about that. I'll be quite honest with you,
Mm,
because I love Gary Newman, and I've made it known. But having gone through what we went through very recently,
yeah,
it sort of dawned on me that
that you
my
don't.
No, 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 I do, but it only extends to the first maybe 4 albums up to Telecon.
How many albums has he got?
Fucking hundreds.
All right. So you're saying just you're saying you do like Gary Newman, but out
I
of his
do.
catalogue,
Yes.
potentially 1%.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you so you like him 1%.
But you see, the thing is,
Yeah,
right,
but I like him less than that. I like him like
he went
zero point
no, no,
0.5.
no. No, he went through, in my opinion, he went through this experimental period where I don't know if he was trying to go with the times or whatever, but he seemed to be doing himself a disservice by altering what he was doing and how he was doing it to suit the other music that was around at that time. That's how it seemed to me. Now, some of his newer material, and I'm talking up to date now,
Mhm.
I will listen to, and it is very good.
Yeah, he's on tour as
And
well, isn't he?
he seems to have found his little like genre again. He's found
Yeah.
himself again. Whereas I think in that midsection where you look at the Fury album and the Berserker album to a degree and albums like that and
Mhm.
Splinter I think there was and a few others, they to me they weren't him. They weren't what he was about. To
Yeah.
me, you go back to the Tubeway Army times where you've got the Tubeway Army, you've got replicas, and then you go into Pleasure Principle, Telecon, and whichever, I think there may have been another one thrown in there as well. But those albums to me were his best period. And then he lost a little bit somewhere down the middle, but he seems to be picking it back up. He seems to have found himself again in his newer material. So, you know,
Mm. And I'd like to point out, at no way or at any point have we ever said that he isn't fantastic at weed. Even when the music is not to our personal taste, it's not to take away from the skill that he actually has as an artist.
oh,
It just
without a
at
doubt,
those, yeah, that's I don't want somebody to, oh well, you've got no fucking. Of course, he's a musical genius. I never said he wasn't. What I'm saying is, I don't like those albums.
yeah. You
Like
can't like
it's that
everything.
simple. Yeah,
You
yeah.
you can't like everything, and
Yep.
you know, the first few albums he did, and then for me, it kind of went a little bit skewed. But now
Mm.
he seems to have come back to his origins, but a
Yeah, a
newer
little
version
bit, a
of.
little
So
bit.
yeah, yeah, he is a fucking musical genius, and you cannot take anything away from that.
No.
So even a certain not Tony who won't agree with any of this
Why is he this? But why?
because he just doesn't like it.
He doesn't like anything Gary Newman.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, okay, so I understand not liking things. But really?
I
Not a
know,
single thing.
I know, I know.
Not a single.
No, no, no,
That's a bit that's
no.
a bit sad actually. I feel that's a bit sad because fuck you.
Because no,
That's
what
why.
you see, but hang on a minute. You see, this is.
No.
I'm going to call you out now, not Tom, if you're listening, and I know you will be
Oh God.
somewhere. I'm
I
going to
know.
call you out now because the very
But don't
same
stop
person.
listening.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, because he'll keep listening so that he can
Yeah.
come and abuse me verbally.
Oh, that's good. I
Um,
like that. Carry on.
yeah. So he made a suggestion for
Yeah.
our next one, being this
Oh yeah,
one.
go on. Yeah. Oh
He
shit.
said, he said,
Yeah.
"Are you going
Yeah.
to be doing the Eurovision one?"
Am I fucking bollocks?
That's pretty much what I said.
Is that yeah, fair enough, yeah. I'm glad you didn't even ask me, to be honest. We could do that one on air. No, absolutely the fuck no. I will never be
No,
doing anything Eurovision, and not because I don't
no.
like popular music. I do not like I've never been I've never been keen on the Eurovision in general. I do not like being force fed a specific artist for a specific I hate it.
And there you go, not Tone, just
I
for you.
hate it. I
That's
absolutely
exactly.
like I do not love it.
There you go.
I couldn't
There
even
you
I
go.
couldn't even tell you any of the artists. And you know what really fucking irks me even more? Every time that there is like a more alternative act, yeah, that everyone's like, "Oh, it's too alternative for me. It's too this, it's too," like they're actually playing their fucking instruments, all right? It might not be
Yes.
live, but they actually play fucking instruments, more than one of them, right? And they haven't got their whappers out or anything. They're just fucking doing what they're doing, and they'll just get no, "Oh, no, it's too alternative." Well, absolute bollocks. Go and fucking suck pop dick, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so
You see what you've done?
Moving
You
on.
see what you've done? Not Tony. You see what you've done?
M
Do you
moving
see
if
the trouble you've caused?
if I ever see you, no. Um, right, I before I move on to my next set of songs, I've got a bunch of stuff. Now, I used this app called Playlist AI. I used it for free, and it's super fun. Now, basically, you can type in something and it will create a playlist for you. You can import it into your Spotify. And I was writing about AI at the time, and I asked it to create me a synthetic sounds playlist for somebody who is writing about AI. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but it's got some
No, you didn't.
absolute fucking bangers on it, right? So if you were to
Okay.
think about bands and stuff that might be a little robotic AI-ish, who might you think of?
Oh, do you know what? I'd be dragging myself back to your kind of Blade Runner times, Giorgio Moroder, people like that, because that's where my mind is based. I know it's probably not going to be the case, but yeah, that sort of thing. More composer than songwriter.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Right, so I'm just going to jump into this. The first track is a fucking firm favorite of my whole life, forever and ever. It's the Autobahn Kraftwerk, right? First
Ah, God,
opening track.
yeah.
Immediately, I'm like, I'm going to listen to the rest of this. Then it goes Daft Punk with Tron.
Okay.
Yep, I'm still here. Then it goes Kraftwerk again with Numbers. Still fucking here, my friend. Radiohead comes in, everything in its right place. Oh my God,
Okay.
right? This is an A-list created, AI created thingy. It's absolutely fantastic. A bit more Daft Punk. There's the Buggles, right? Flowbots,
Jesus.
Steely Dan, do it again. Fucking MGMT, Electric Feel. Like it is fantastic. And it finishes up on Paranoid Android. It's got 27 tracks, right? So you can mess around with how many it is. And I thought to myself, how fantastic is it? Right. So again, this is just called Playlist AI. It's just an app. It's on the App Store. You can find it yourself. There's a free version. They do try and get you to upgrade. Just don't, because you can still use it for free. And you
Can I just
just
jump
type,
in for 1 second and say
yeah, go on, go on.
it was Vangelis that did the soundtrack to Blade Runner. There you go.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
glad you clarified that. We
I
have to fucking clarify something every other week. We
I know, I know.
fucking nightmare. Anyway, it is super fast. All you do is type in like a contextual thing. It's like what you're doing right now. So if you're like, I'm cooking French fries, but I want to listen to XYZ music, and it'll like populate it. And you just put it straight in there. And that's one of the ones. And I have actually been listening to it this week. And it gives it a name, it puts a cover on it and all that shit. Synthetic sounds and AI playlist is what this one's called, because I was testing something out for work. And I really like it. And I wanted to just say, if you have trouble making playlists or you feel like they take too long, try that.
That sounds really good. I'm gonna have a go at that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link in a bit because
Yeah,
fucking I
absolutely.
really enjoyed it. And then I just transferred it to Tidal where everything sounded better.
Nice.
Yeah, basically, that's what I was doing. I was like, all right, let's have a go. Okay, right. If you are into soft music, this next one is for you. But I want to talk about how I got here. Okay. So again, I went down the rabbit hole and I ended up listening to a band called X's. That's just EXES, X's. And I ended up on one of their, I think it's an EP because it's only 5 tracks, but I think this is one of their earlier releases. It's like 2019. Two songs on there are very, very good. Kane and Taxi. So I listened to Taxi a couple of times and I thought, "Do you know what? I've been around the block with this one. I'm going to put a heart on it." So put a heart on it. And when I do that, my next recommended playlist will have similar songs to it, which I know, which is why I do it. Then the next one that came up was the song that I'm actually going to recommend. And it's so light and floaty. It's very not usually what I might usually listen to. And it's by an artist called Lilla Vargin. It's Lillavargen. And the track is called Downtown, and I feel like I've seen it in a movie or like an indie movie or something, and I can't quite place it. And I've had a look to see of other releases and stuff from this person, and I haven't listened to a single one in my whole entire lifetime. And that, yeah, so that's what I'm going with today. A lesser known artist. I believe.
I
That she has
believe
quite
as well.
yeah, quite a few, releases, but there tends to be, like, maybe 4 or 5 tracks on each one, so I think kinda making her way kind of person. I'm not sure she's, big or anything like that, and yeah, Downtown, Lilla Vargan, super light, very summery. If you're into softer kind of music that's easy to listen to, I highly recommend it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I'll go and have a look
there you
for
go.
that because I because
Mm.
I'm liking the, lighter side of music just lately.
I tend
It
to
it
have a
kinda
little
works for me.
switch. Yeah. It depends on the weather sometimes, and it depends what I'm doing. So if I've got a day where I know I'm going to be staring at the screen all day, then I'll put on one of my playlists called. I've got two that I listen to a lot. One of them is called "If We Took Coke and Went Driving." I spoke about this countless times, and I've got another one called "Fuck It Up," which is just it's more like rap and R&B, mostly UK stuff actually. And then I've got another one called Work Stuff that's got stuff like Disturb, Blink, Paramore, Corn, Fall Out Boy, Godhead, Rage Against the Machine, and so on and so on and so on and so on. But if I'm just like having to read a lot, then I'll put something like this Lila Vargan on, or like I've just mentioned, X's, make sure I heart them so I get more recommendations, and I'll listen to that because it's not taxing, it's not loud, it just tinkles away in the background.
Sometimes it's what you need,
Yep.
just someone that's just sort of running alongside you
Yep.
while you're
Pretty much.
doing what you're doing. Yeah, excellent. I'll go and have a
Yeah.
look for that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because,
Again.
like I say, just lately I've been digging through a lot of my old not so much playlist, but my old sort of listening fodder, if you
Mm-hmm.
like, and digging tracks out that I've listened to endless times and playing them through this upgraded sound that I've got now and having fucking great time with it, I have to say.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff I've been putting in now is just you wouldn't have kind of gone, "Oh yeah, I'll dig that one back out." And this next track that I'm gonna kind of chuck in is an example of that, and well, it's Lou Reed, "Walk on the Wild Side" from Transformer, 1972.
That's a fantastic track though.
Shaved his legs, and then he was a she.
That's never thought
Yeah.
about that bit of it though.
Have you not? Okay.
I never really thought like sometimes I don't care about the lyrics because I'm listening to the whatever's happening in the background. Sometimes I do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, it was a
Um,
big deal, wasn't it, at the time? I mean, it was about the transvestite life in Los Angeles, I think, back in the 70s
yeah.
and the early 80s. So, I mean, this was like I say, Transformer speaks for itself, really.
Yes.
1972, yeah. But yeah,
Yes.
it's about
The same vein, you've got
the
Lola.
very much so,
Uh,
very much so. But yeah, this one just rolls along. Lovely bass
mhm.
line.
Yeah.
Lou Reed's vocals are excellent.
Mhm.
I don't
Oh
like
yeah.
everything he's done. I don't like everything he's done, but this one, Perfect Day, Vicious, tracks like that, very good. But
Yes.
yeah, if you don't know this song, well, you will know this song. You'll know the opening bass line to it. If
Mhm.
you've not heard the song before, you'll know that piece at least. Go and have a listen to it. Just go and have a listen. And if you're new to it, fantastic. Lou Reed.
Yeah, enjoy. Yeah, yeah.
That's all I've got from that.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So, something I like about using Tidal is that I get my most listened to monthly roundups. I
Right,
don't
yeah.
know if you actually pay attention to yours. Do you actually look at them?
I do, but they all seem to base around about 4 artists because when I first started listening through Tidal, because the the sound was so much cleaner from it
Mhm.
than Spotify and wherever else I was
It
going through.
is, yeah.
I started spamming music that I had listened to that I knew back from, back from the time,
Yes.
when I was more musically active, let's say. So a lot of those monthly kind of your monthly review and all of that from whenever
Mhm.
is based around a set of about 5 artists, just playing various tracks from them, so, it's not very expansive.
Mine is fucking wild. Mine is actually wild because I thought, "Oh, I'll have a look at, like, my most listened to." Right, and it goes like this: Gigs, Stormzy, The Cure, M83, Joji, Little Sims, Hosier, Ella Voss, right? Rusted Roots, send me on my way. Like, I'm not even joking.
Nice,
Fucking
nice.
Gorillas. What else we got the weekend? Wretch 32, Lana Del Rey. Got like it's such a big foot Radiohead, obviously.
Yeah.
Fucking Spoon. Yeah. Spoon.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Know of them. A few.
ZZ, Sans Scout, like it is fucking wild. It goes back and forth. And I have gone back through. So going back to because you can view all. So went back to like November when I actually started using it and I was testing out stuff. And so I went back and I was like, I wonder if over the last like 6 months, 7 months, however many months that is, things have changed. And I've had a look, and this one is Blancmange, Childish
Bl-
Gambino. It's not better.
Blancmange.
Blancmange,
Yeah. Blanc.
Blancmange, uh,
Blancmange.
Blancmange, Childish
Do you know
Gambino.
the first time you played one of their tracks and you
Yeah,
called them Blancmange, I didn't know who the fuck he was on about.
I always call them
Until you
that.
said, I know you do, and I know that now, but at the time, because I
Oh,
called them blancmange, and you
yeah,
said blancmange, and I was like, who the fuck's that?
yeah.
And you said the name of the track, and I was like, "Ah, okay,
Oh my
okay,
god, no, I always say it.
yeah,
I don't. I don't care. Anyway, Snow
I know you
Patrol, and then loads of Kings of Leon, obviously, because that's just as fucking standard. And then it goes Nicki Minaj, and I don't even remember listening to that, but I remember now. Daryl said, "Listen to the bass on Chun Li," right, one of the tracks. And then I was listening to it over and over. That's fucking clean, that. And then we were just going back and forth, going, "That's fucking clean, that, innit?"
do.
And I was like, "Yeah, fair enough." And the tracks that have made it through all of those months are Dragon Force, Through the Fire and Flames, which you know that I
Oh my
really enjoy.
lord, oh god,
And
yeah,
that has made the top list every month from November to now without fucking fail. It has been in the top played. And I think to myself, I wonder how many times a day I listen to that song. And bear in mind, it's about 8 minutes long.
grief.
It's a long one and it's in all the time. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So I'm scooting through all of these things, right? And I used to listen to Dermot Kennedy a lot. I still do, but he doesn't usually make it into my most played because it's a very specific kind of mood. This person you have to be in to listen to. And one of his favorite releases for me is a little EP called Doves and Ravens. And on there, there are two really, really, really good tracks. Glory, which is, I think, the opening track. I can't remember. Is it? Yes, it is. Glory, which is the opening track, which I really, really love his voice. And I think on this, because this was 2017, so he's come a long way since then and he's releasing big albums and doing big things and whatever. Even if you haven't heard of him, that's your own fault. And Boston, so there's the 2 on there that are really, really good, and I'm gonna link the EP, but I'll also link the songs individually. But the one I I put my headphones on and I kinda sometimes I just hit play and see what happens. I don't really, like, select something, and Glory was the first one that came on. I just thought, "You know what? It's a fucking fine track, that is." That's Glory, Dermot Kennedy off a EP called Doves and Ravens, and it's fantastic, and I shall
Nice.
link it to you, and I hope you enjoy it. And after you listen to Glory, listen to Boston, and then go down the rabbit hole and look for a track called, oh my god, I forgot what it's called. Give me 2 seconds. Outnumbered. That's it. That's
Sound
where you start with him. So Dermot Kennedy, go for Glory first, then go for Boston, and then go and listen to Outnumbered, and then where you go from there, I don't care, but that's your 3 starter tracks for him.
well, while you've just been
Talking shit.
rumbling all of that off,
Yeah.
I've just been checking my most played in April
Oh yeah, go on.
thingy, and it runs like this. It's quite a long one, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but
No, go on, why not?
it starts off with Airwaves by Thomas Dolby. It
Yeah.
goes into I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm just gonna go through it. Voi Vagloskogi by Kaleo.
Calio.
Yeah. Uh, brilliant song. Don't know what
Yeah,
the fucking
very.
song, don't know what it's going on about, but brilliant
Don't have
song.
to. Yeah.
New York by the Kills, Money,
Oof.
Pink Floyd, No Good, Kaleo, Great Gig in the Sky, Pink Floyd, Given Up,
Mhm.
the Linkin Park one that you bought in the other
Oh,
week.
man. Oof.
Waiting for the Night, Depeche Mode, Scare Myself, Thomas Dolby, Jigsaw Falling into Place, Radiohead,
Mhm.
Rain, 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 Roxy Music, Tear You Apart, She Wants Revenge, Walk on the Wild Side.
Fucking track.
Yeah. Waves, Blancmange, Complex,
Mm,
Gary Newman, Ride the Storm, Golford, Messages, Orchestral Manoeuvres,
mm,
Weightless, Thomas Dolby. There's a couple of others in there as well. Welcome to the Black
mm.
Parade, Chemical
Yes.
Romance, LA Hex by the Kills, and Sweet Surrender by Thomas Lear, stuff like that. So that
Now
was my
that
most.
that is worth saving as a playlist in itself, and I hope you have. And if you send me a link, I shall put that in the show notes so people can have a listen to that because that is a fucking fine mix.
There's some good songs on there.
It really is.
I,
Save that as a playlist and send it over.
I will do.
Mm.
Um, so based around all of that, it's
Yeah.
my second pick, or is it third? Is it second?
Third, third.
Is it third? Yes,
Yeah,
it's
because
third.
I've done the Kings of Leon, I did Lila Vargan, and I've just done Dermot Kennedy.
You've done Dermot Kennedy.
Oh,
Um,
which I
so
gave people a starting piece.
I had two written down.
Mm.
I'm going to mention one. We used to do this before. Do you remember?
Yeah, got too
I'm going to
many.
mention one, and I'm going to mention the other because I can't play them. I've just realised what it. I've
I'm
just
gonna
realised where this is going.
I'm
I'm going to
gonna talk
mention
to you
one, and
about
I'm going to
two.
yeah, and then play neither of them. Fucking Spotify bastards.
Fucking
Right.
hell.
So, oh god, I was going to recommend. Fuck's sake. Um, A
Mhm.
Whole Lot of Love by Led Zeppelin from
Oh,
Led Zeppelin
nice.
2, which was 1969. Now, the reason I've been listening to this is a lot of
Yes.
crossover. Is
Oh, sorry for
oh,
Oh,
it's
carry
just
on.
fucking
I'm gonna have
ridiculous,
to
man.
mute myself in a second.
It's ridiculous. There's a lot of
Yeah.
crossover, headphone speakers, whichever way you want to listen to it, there's a lot of crossover, and it's excellent track. The song that if we could have been playing music at this point, would
Yeah.
have been Lagrange by ZZ Top from the Trey Hombres album
Ooh.
1973. Now, the reason I would have gone for this was I stumbled across, you get these reaction videos. You mentioned them earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
I stumbled across a couple, American couple, a man and a woman, doing this reaction video to the Lagrange track, which is a fucking superb track in itself. But she's going, "Oh, Lagrange," and he's like, "Yes, Lagrange. Um, I think it might be on about like a whorehouse." And I'm like, she's like, a brothel. And he's like, I think so, maybe. You fucking liar. You fucking know exactly what it is. Don't you dare lie to me. Don't
He's
you
he's
dare.
trying to he's trying to fucking finesse it like, "I don't know what he's saying. These
I
lyrics,
don't,
they're
yeah,
wild."
yeah, yeah. Fucking about the chicken ranch, you stupid bastard. But yeah, and he's going all this. I believe you fucking liar. Don't you lie to me. Don't you lie to me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. But yeah, um, right. Calm down a little bit, I think.
No, just carry on.
ZZ Lagrange, Lagrange from Trey Hombres, 1973. It's about a fucking brothel.
Of course it is, because it goes, just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls."
Mm.
That's
Yep,
literally the lyrics, like,
it is
that's
literally the lyrics, and
like
that's where they stopped. He rolled
yep.
it back to that, and he went, "I think it might be about a whorehouse. They got a
Wow.
lot of nice girls." Mm.
Nah, he's trying to finesse his wife. I've never heard of these things before in my life.
Yes, I wouldn't know what a whore is.
No.
Yeah, fucking lying
Lordy,
bastard.
lordy.
I know. Would you have thought?
Mm-mm.
I thought so.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, so that would have been the song I would have played if we could have played them. And the
Yes.
other one, the Led Zeppelin, would have been the song I would have mentioned because I couldn't play both of them. But the fact is, I
Yes.
can't play either of them.
So might as well talk about them both.
So yeah, A Whole Lot of Love,
Yep.
excellent song for the crossovers. It's a great song in general, but just the crossovers, everybody knows it because it was the old Top of the Pops theme for one, and it's just one of these songs that has just been fucking everywhere. So
Mm.
um, yeah, put it on, and it is one of those. Just let it go, just let it go, side to side, back to front, up and down, round and round. Awesome.
Doing some things, doing some things. I do want to mention a couple of things that is being released to keep your ears and eyes open. So Pokey Lafarge, we played him before. He's got an album. I
Okay.
believe it's out today. Rumba County, I believe it's called, but don't quote me because I talk shit and I'm full of shit all the time. Next week, I can't remember if there's anything good. Oh my god, New Kids on the Block are releasing something next week.
Are they?
Yeah, it's called Still Kids. So avoid that if you can. But
Yeah.
Slash
Would they
is
not be
releasing
would
some.
they not be like old blokes on the block? No.
They should just be fucking like we should be in the morgue, but we ain't. Slash is releasing an album called Orgy of the Damned, which is funny as fuck as a title. And I dare say that I shall be having a listen to that and hopefully I
I've
can
had a listen to a couple of bits of
the
tracks from that
singles for
album.
it, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of previews of those because
And
I've
what we're
seen that.
saying.
I mean, as far as Guns N' Roses go, I like some of what they did. Didn't like all
Hmm.
of it, like some of it. As far as Slash goes, I think he's a knob, but he's a very good guitarist,
You were gonna
but
say it's a
still a
good
knob.
knob then.
No, I would never say such a thing.
Almost
Um,
did.
but when he did these couple of albums that he released with Miles Kennedy, there was Miles Kennedy, there was Fergie, there was a few others
Yes. That is a
flying
good
around in there.
album.
There's some good albums. There's some good
Yeah.
songs on those
Yeah.
albums. So I've got to give him a pass on that. For himself, I'm not a big fan, but for the music that they've put out, like I say, with Miles Kennedy and artists like that, Chris Cornell, I think, had a track with him as well. Alice
Mm.
Cooper was in there somewhere, and various,
Do
and
you know my
I think
favourite one
Iggy
off
Pop.
that album?
Well,
Is the Ian Astbury one, Ghost.
don't like it.
Do you know? I love it.
No, I don't like it.
I like the opening. Du- 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 du. I
There
like
was
the
a couple
opening.
of songs. There was, I can't remember the singer, but it was Saint is a Sinner too. There was that track,
Mm,
which I thought was very good. Back from Cali
mm,
with Miles Kennedy,
yes.
fucking awesome. Oh, I love that song. That song. That's a song that got me into Alter Bridge, which is Miles Kennedy's band. For anybody
Yes.
that doesn't know, that track from the Slash album got me listening to Alter Bridge. So
It's a little bit of a jump and a hop and whatnot. Fair enough.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm,
But yeah, well worth it in the end. It was a long way around, to be
yeah.
fair, but well worth it in the end. But those albums that Slash released with his various artists are well worth a go. Even if you don't really like him, as I don't, they're well worth a go because some of the songs and some of the artists on there are stunning.
True, but then I like just like literally one the cult song. So I was gonna like hit that one anyway, Ghost, because he sounds the same.
That's fair enough. It's fair
Yeah.
enough. No, I must say, it wasn't for me.
She sells
I
Sanctuary
think
in it.
Cult, yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, the song that I like from them, I don't like pretty much any other song. I only like that one. And the vocals sound like crispy same. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
no.
That's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
Right,
so
so that
anyway.
leaves me now with what would have been an outro, but isn't. It's
Yep.
just something else we're going to talk about.
Yep.
I listened to and I mentioned on one of our much earlier podcasts when we did the blues, a duo of sisters that I'd stumbled across
Mm-hmm.
and really kind of grabbed me, the sound and the whole feel of what they were doing. And I know that you weren't a big fan of them,
Nope.
but their backstory is brilliant as well. I mean, they're related to Edgar Allan Poe, and on it goes. So
Mm,
from that,
fair
you'll
enough.
know you'll know who I mean anyway. It's Larkin Poe, and they
Yeah.
released their newest album was a couple of years ago. It was 2022, and it was called Blood Harmony. And I stumbled on this particular track was one of the when we've been talking about putting playlists on and letting them run,
Yes.
and this one came up, and I knew who it was just from the sound of it, but I hadn't heard it before, and I've subsequently added this album to my little collection of albums on my
Mm-hmm.
playlist thingy, and it's a track called Deep Stays Down, and it's the opening track of this album, and it's well worth a listen. and it's sort of because you like the stomps, don't you?
I do. I'm a very,
So
very firm believer in the
yeah,
stomp.
well, this is very stompy to about 2/3 of the way through, and then the band kicks in, and it makes you go, "Oh, fuck yes." You'll like it up to that point, but then when the rest of the band comes in, as almost like an outro to the song,
Yeah,
it lifts it again, and you go, "Ah, fuck yeah." And it's a song I've played on repeat, this one. It's very
yeah.
good. It's very good,
Well,
so it's well worth a listen.
don't know if you're interested, but they're actually in the UK in July.
Are they?
Yes, Maidstone doing the Maidstone Festival with Wolf Mother and Mr. Big, and then a little
Wolf
bit
Mother.
later. Yeah, yeah, love
Do
Wolf
you know
Mother.
their big song, Wolf Mother?
Mm,
Woman.
yeah, I
Great
know.
song.
It's
Wolf Mother.
fantastic. And then they're also at the Cambridge Folk Festival, which sounds like right up somebody else's street, to be honest. I don't know if the tickets are going to be expensive or whatever. And then they go on tour with, I think, Slash. And then they're also with Calio later in the year as well. So they've actually got
Are
some
they?
big stuff coming up. Yeah, yeah.
They do.
Looking at this.
They're really pushing it, aren't they? I mean, they've got a few albums out, and I like them. They're not for everyone
No.
because, as we said back on the blues episode, they were very Bible bashing kind of sound to them.
Hmm.
That like the stomp as you like, and all of that. It's very very basic stuff, but like with the band when it kicks in, fucking great. I really
I,
enjoy what they do.
I maybe live I would feel different about it. I really do enjoy Stomp and Holler though. I'm not even gonna fuck about. I really like Stomp and Holler. And probably a couple of years ago, I would have been like, oh no, it's not really my nah, fuck it. I love Stomp and Holler. Put somebody be kicking boxes on the floor because that's what I want to hear. Like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like I love that. And if they're more like leaning to that, maybe I'll have a but
You
yeah,
should have a listen to that track.
I
To that
will.
track. Because that I think would be right up your street. Well
It
worth
will
a go.
be.
But
Maybe.
I might have a look actually and see where it's just so why don't they come down to by me and
I
play?
don't know, but
If
you
you're
should
listening,
but
Larkins,
yeah,
come over.
Larkins. Bloody hell, I'll send you
Come
an
over.
email. Yeah, but the folk festival sounds like it could be a good shout. There's probably loads of people. Do you know, fuck it. I'm actually gonna everyone stay where you are. I'm gonna have a look right now, Cambridge Folk Festival.
I
Speaking
wonder
of
if
go
I
on.
wonder if old Dammers will be there.
Probably.
Probably
Almost
be
100%.
probably probably be playing, if in
Fucking
fairness.
I was yeah, probably. Right, what we've got? We've got incredible names. Let's see what who what's on the lineup. Who the fuck are these? I don't even I don't even know half of these. Is this the right one? Let's just read some of these out. Mima Marrow, Nectar Wood, River Roots, Robin Adams, Slow Worm Takeover, The Deep Blue, Annie Bayliss, Around About Dusk. These do sound quite folky. They
Oh
very
yeah.
much do. They are folky. Who else is there? Let's have a look at them. More info. Everybody just stay where you are because I don't care. Who else we've got? Birdvox, Butler, Blake and Grant, Farah, Holly Cook, Lizzie No, Rum Ragged, by the way, that was. The Smiths and Brewer Band. I've never heard of half of these.
I haven't heard of any of them. I don't
I
know
might,
half of
I might,
them.
I might have to go and have a look at some of these because these sound like they're obscure and they might be like Robert Plant.
You know oh, not
What?
Robert Plant.
Says
Robert
Robert
Plant's
Plant.
in there.
It says Robert Plant presents Saving Grace featuring Susie Dion. Oyster
Yeah,
Band,
I've heard of that
Transatlantic
before,
Sessions. Oh my god, you're not gonna believe who's there.
Oh.
Go on, just have a random guess, random fucking guess, as random as you like, and you've played them before, and you fucking bought the vinyl.
Oh.
If I say it's fantastic,
Never. Negrito.
genuinely, yeah, fantastic Negrito, Larkin Poe, Nittany Sorway. Oh my fucking god, that's
Oh,
actually
I might have a look at that.
good lord, and there's loads of in all sorts of activities and all sorts of bullshit. Yoga, treasure hunts, band hubs, food and shopping, song list. Ah, that actually looks fucking good.
Do you know what? I might have a look at that.
I
But I
think
can
somebody will
guarantee
very
you
much enjoy that.
a lot of these bands are gonna be like a broomstick with one string on and a finger in the ear. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Every heavy
But
folk,
this
almost dancing around maypole kind of shit.
alright, but get into this, instrument making, willow sculpting, knitting, drawing, storytelling. Nah, but this sounds like a fucking amazing weekend to
I'm
it's like,
leaning towards this.
there's nothing wrong with this at all, is there?
Not at all.
Food and shopping. I feel
And the
like
fact that I
everyone's
mean,
having the
Robert
conversation with
Plant
us now.
Robert Plant, Larkin Poe, fantastic
Mhm.
negrito. I'd go
Yeah,
for them.
that's you, and I'm looking at clothes stores and stuff, so if anybody's listening to this who might also be in their house right
Is it
now,
is it hippie chic
it's
kind of stuff?
it fucking is, yeah, like, I'm looking at, like, kimonos and shit. I'll send you the website after.
I think you
Alright,
need to.
anyway, so that's pretty
Yes.
cool. That's handy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I can't remember if I told you I was gonna go and see, fucking Gary, me pal
Gary.
Gary Clark Jr.
Oh, yes, you did.
I
Yes,
can't
you did.
fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait because he released a new album, JPEG Raw the other week. It's a bit
Yeah.
different from his first one. I fucking love it. And also, my man's boy bands.
There's a few artists that are coming around now that are making me go, "Oh, do you know what?" I mean, Nick Cave's on his way round for
Yes,
one. There's a
yes.
few others. I'm like, Jesus,
I don't know.
please.
I feel like next year I'm gonna be outside like no one has ever fucking seen before in their life. Like if they, I'm gonna be out fucking side. I like these bands are doing bigger and better tours, but what I really really like and I've noticed is they're not doing just the massive venues now. They're dotting them around a little bit, unless they're like they're massive fucking celebrities and they're like doing only the fucking €300 a ticket I told you about Adele. I'm
Mm,
noticing that a lot of the bluesy, a lot of the stomp and holler, a lot of the fucking more folksy and all that kind of stuff, they'll do much smaller venues and their ticket prices, €25. Thank you, fucking please, I'll see you there.
yep,
Outside
yep.
like you've never seen. That's me next year. Just watch. Anyone I wanna see, I'm seeing next year. I'm gonna go fucking Germany and see them. I'm tempted to go and see a Kings of Leon in Germany. I think they're in there in August.
Well, you
And
ain't
I'm
that
like,
far away really, are you?
"Nah," and I'm like half and half, like, Do I wanna do this? Yeah, actually, probably will."
Yeah.
Because the thing is, where and they're not even expensive, by the way. I think their ticket's the same price as Gary Clark Jr., I think about €40. Now, to me, that's just a bit more expensive than a vinyl.
Well, yeah, it is. I've paid
Yeah.
more than that for a vinyl.
Me too. But
Yeah.
I have as well, and I think to myself, if these because Kings of Leon banged, and I think they had, like, a young audience, and then they all went off and started listening to something else. So, their ticket prices aren't as expensive as they used to be. They're not even verified on fucking Twitter, do you know what I mean? They're like a little indie band now,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's good
That's
for
that's
people.
kinda sad, isn't it? But it's good in the fact that when
It's
you
good for
wanna go and see him,
fans.
it's gonna be a smaller venue, more intimate,
Yep,
cheaper to go and see.
yep.
But when you look at where they were, a lot
Yeah.
of people would consider that a bit of a fall from grace, wouldn't they?
But see, now this is where, maybe this is controversial, but I don't know. So anyway, I read that the biggest song, "The Sex Is on Fire," right? He fucking hated it. He wrote it, and unfortunately, it just went absolutely wild. Which is when, well, not unfortunately, obviously great for them because notoriety, their money was coming in, and they were touring like crazy. Just that album for that song, really. But the music that came before that on the albums and the music that came after that on the albums is the stuff that fans like myself. Also, I'm a fan. I don't care is a bit different. It's not super mainstream, it's more twangy, it more sounds like it was made in a barn, which is where they actually came from. And I think in some ways that it's beneficial for people who've been listening to it since like the Aha Heart Shake. Fuck me, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Um, thank you. And people have been listening since then until now, and that's like a blip of like, ah, now they got popular, but I'm glad they're back where they were because the music that they're producing now sounds more like the albums that came before that one and after that one, which is more what I believe that they want to make. And that's why it doesn't sound like that more popular mainstream music. And that means it's better for fans because their tickets are cheaper and they do smaller venues and you can get a seat because people is
Yes.
old.
Like myself.
Yeah, like me. I'm gutted. I can't. The Gary Clark Jr.'s no seats. My bro.
Bloody hell.
Oh, I'm gonna have to take paracetamol or drugs before I go. Maybe both before I go.
Why don't you take a Zimmer?
No, because I'll lose it.
No,
because
it
I'm
serves 2 purposes, you see. It keeps you standing up,
yeah,
and it provides a little barrier around you to stop people bumping into you. And
that's
also
yeah,
if you go scuttling in one of them, they'll usher you
yeah.
to the front
I don't wanna
with
be at the
y
front because after I've taken my drugs and my paracetamol, I'll fall down anyway.
but then you see, old Gary
Oh,
might see you and
yeah.
take pity and bring you up on stage, and you can
Well,
sit side stage or something. Yeah.
that would be the worst thing he's ever done in his life.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's done some stuff, so yeah. But yeah, okay, I can't remember where we were going with this.
Yeah. The folk
Anyway,
festival,
the folk
it's gonna be, yeah, fairly cheap, hopefully.
thanks for following us along on that whatever the fuck just happened because I don't know. Fucking hell. Don't even know what
I
I was
know.
talking about anymore.
It's all gone to shit.
Yeah,
Well, no,
never
it went to shit about the very first one, I think.
never started good,
No,
didn't
no.
start good, so now it's ending badder.
Yeah,
Did we already do the outro?
yeah,
I forgot what it
yeah.
was.
It was
I
like in
forgot
Poe.
what it was. Oh shit, that's why we went to the
Yeah, and that's what sent us down this little fucking
festival.
little
Okay, right.
wormhole of nonsense.
Anyway, so thanks for joining us on another one, and I'll put all the links to everything that we've spoken about. And you know what? I'll bang the Cambridge Live Festival link under there as well. I'm having a look, and tickets are about 35 quid for the day, and it's also got disabled access, under 18s, and things, personal assistance and whatnot. So I'll put that under there so you could all have a look. I can't remember if we mentioned any audio. I don't think we did. Did we? Did we mention any brands or anything this week? I don't think so.
No, nothing that we haven't already spoken about on an earlier one. So
All right, so nothing there. And then I'll put the links to albums, songs, EPs, and all that good stuff down below as well. And see you on the next one.
thank you very much.
Cheers.